I was still a boy. One day I was going home from work. My father was a predaner. He went and came back on his bicycle, and at that moment when alcohol was very cruel in his life, he never went straight home, finished his work, stopped at the boutique, stayed there 1, 2, 3 hours after he went home, but on one of these days, on Saturday, he worked there was only in the morning he drank too much, and when he was going home he fell. I remember we were at home, someone knocked on the door and said, "Mrs. Anna, you're going to have to get yours." Natinho was the nickname. He's lying there at the door of Lax Bakery, a bakery that was about 2 kilometers from my house. I remember, we ran there, me, my mother and my brother Geraldo, my people. It's a scene that I'm never going to forget. I remember that I cried, I trembled like that with that scene. His bike dropped in a corner near the sidewalk and he fell between the street and the sidewalk. In that space in the gutter it had rained. My mother was dirty, not from his work. I was dirty from that flood of sewage water. My mother, with all dignity, helping to lift him, my brother too. I rem after time passed, I realized that that feeling wasn't shame, it was outregember. That at that time the only feeling that occurred to me was that of shame. You know when you feel ashamed. I looked to the side, I was afraid that someone who would take my girls would look at my father like that. After time passed, I realized that that feeling wasn't shame. It was outrage. Outrage is when you see the right person in the wrong place. That's why we're outraged, because alcohol works like this. The agent creates the ghettos of destruction. They're the false friends, and they don't even know they're being fake to each other, cause they're tearing each other together. No one there has the guts to raise their voice to speak what Paul spoke. Pay attention to that high priest. Look up, see what he proposes for you to live. I remember, my people, we picked up